Have you wished for years that you could stop overthinking? Are you sick and tired of delaying every decision, even the little ones, second guessing yourself, rewriting text messages and emails endlessly, and replaying conversations in your head days or even weeks after they happen, trying to decide if you said something weird or what they thought of you or whether you should apologize? Then this video is for you. Hey there, my name is Amy Shield, and I help smart, capable women feel as confident on the inside as they look on the outside. And today I'm going to be talking about overthinking, where it comes from, and a quick and simple 3-step exercise that you can use to stop overthinking in its tracks so that you can make a decision and move forward. Chances are you know that you're smart and capable, but making decisions and moving forward for some reason still feels risky. And if you're somebody who struggles with overthinking like I did for a really long time, it can feel maddening to understand intellectually that you are capable, you have the skills, but to still overthink, hesitate, and question yourself at every turn. Here's the thing about overthinking. It's not a character flaw. Overthinking is a fear response that your nervous system uses to try to keep you safe when it thinks there is danger or a threat afoot, that something in your present or in your near future could cause you harm or pain. So your nervous system encourages you to overthink, number one, to try to cover more bases, and number two, to delay making a decision and moving forward. Once you learn how to recognize these fear responses from your nervous system and navigate your way through them, overthinking largely becomes a thing of the past because you recognize what's happening and you have the skills to overcome it. Before we talk about that quick and simple 3-step process, I want to talk a little bit about the cost of overthinking. I was an overthinker for so much of my life. We're talking decades here. And so if you're somebody who also tends to overthink, I understand what you experience. And here's the thing about overthinking. It can feel productive or even wise. You research one more angle. You open one more tab to just triple check something one more time. You ask 3 more people or 5 or 6 more people for their opinion. Underneath all that productive feeling, overthinking activity, there's a pattern at play. Making a decision and moving forward feels unsafe. So your brain and your nervous system try to protect you by gathering more information and spending more time and energy on analysis. The cost of repeatedly allowing your brain and your nervous system to lead you into overthinking is very real. You lose time, opportunities, and energy because you're stuck in this cycle of overthinking. Your self-confidence feels brittle because you're always relying on other people's opinions and input to make decisions. And your relationships might feel strained because you have a tendency to over-explain or just say yes when you really want or need to say no. None of this means that there's anything wrong with you. In fact, it's quite the opposite. All it means is that your brain and your nervous system are offering expected biological reactions in response to what they perceive to be threat or danger. Now, here's the great news. You can train your brain and your nervous system to respond in ways that serve you a little bit better. In other words, that don't lead you down a path of repeated overthinking. You can soften the impact that that nervous system response has on your ability to navigate situations effectively, to think critically, and move forward making decisions. So there's this part of your brain that I like to call the security guard. Your security guard is constantly scanning your present environment for threats based on your past. So she is an expert on your past. When your security guard notices something that feels threatening, she blows her whistles, and that kind of sounds off alarm bells all throughout your body. And really what happens is you go into what's called fight, flight, or freeze mode. That might be something that you're already familiar with. That can look like your breath getting quicker or more shallow, your shoulders starting to creep or hunch up, experiencing rushing thoughts, or that overthinking where we're trying to mitigate the risk. It can also look like hesitating, freezing, or shutting down and struggling to make any progress in a situation. Now, again, these physical sensations that you experience, they don't mean that there's anything wrong with you. They're just expected biological reactions to what your brain and your nervous system perceive as a threat. And that threat may or may not be legitimate. A lot of the times it's not. So the goal becomes recognizing when the brain and nervous system are blowing that whistle, the security guard is sending out those alarm bells to the body, and learning how to help the security guard calm down so that you can use your thinking brain to make deliberate and intentional decisions in a situation and move forward with self-confidence. It's all about creating safety for your nervous system first, because that's why those alarm bells go off. That security guard, she doesn't feel safe. So we create safety for the nervous system first, reassure that part of the brain, that security guard, and only then think with intention about how you want to move forward. Because here's the truth. You cannot outthink a dysregulated nervous system. In fact, like I said earlier, overthinking can be a sign of a dysregulated nervous system. The security guard feels unsafe, and so she encourages you to keep thinking about it, get one more angle, do a little bit more research to defer making a decision that she views as potentially dangerous or risky. And that's really the little secret behind overthinking. If you are analyzing, considering, mulling over, you're not making a decision and you are not taking action. And that is exactly what that security guard in your brain, that's exactly what she wants. She wants to keep you safe, maintain the status quo, and expend as little energy as possible. And overthinking achieves all three of those goals. So when we talk about how to stop overthinking, step number one is always creating safety for your security guard. Now, if you're a person of faith like I am, I want to share a quick word of good news. Trust is not blind. It's a partnership between you and the God who loves you. You can bring your faith into this process with gentleness and honesty. God created our amazing human nervous system, and He also gave us the power to care for it well and manage it effectively. And that is truly an incredible gift. Now that you understand where overthinking comes from and that it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you, here is a quick and simple 3-step process that you can use to stop overthinking in its tracks anytime it comes up. This is one of my signature processes inside my one-on-one coaching program, the Self-Confidence Edit. And this process is called Regulate, Reassure, and Respond. The goal when you are engaging in nervous system regulation is not to get rid of your security guard entirely and fire her, put her out of a job. She's a part of you and she's there for a reason, and she'll always be there. The goal is to soothe your nervous system, soothe that security guard so that you can choose your perspective from a place of intention. Action tends to flow from there because when your security guard, when your nervous system feels safe, when your thinking brain is online, then you're well positioned to reason your way through the situation and decide with intention how you want to move forward. Step 1 in the Regulate, Reassure, Respond process is to regulate. The goal here is to create physiological safety. In other words, soothing your security guard so your thinking brain can come online. And we do that through body-based practices. Now, everybody's nervous system is different, so the nervous system regulation tools that work well for me aren't necessarily going to work well for you. So it's important to find a few different tools that do work well for you so that you have those ready to go at a moment's notice anytime you need to run through this Regulate, Reassure, Respond practice. Here are a few examples. The first one is called 4-4-8-4 breathing, and it's really simple. You inhale for a 4 count, hold your breath for a 4 count, exhale for a nice long 8 count, hold for a 4 count, and then repeat the process. So inhale again for a 4 count, etc. You can repeat this 4 to 6 times. It might even take as many as 10 rounds of this 4-4-8-4 breathing for it to feel effective. You can also do things as simple as dropping your tongue from the roof of your mouth or allowing your shoulders to fall down if you're noticing that they're kind of hunched and scrunched up. You can try exercises like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is where you name 5 things you can see, 4 things that you can physically feel, like with your fingertips, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. If counting your breaths feels like too much for you in the moment, set a timer for 90 seconds and just focus on nice slow inhales and nice long exhales. You can even do something as simple as slowly and gently rubbing your thumb across your fingertips. This is a great one to do in meetings, or if you're in public, or in a situation where you need to do a little bit of nervous system regulation, but in an inconspicuous way. Start regulating your nervous system the moment that you notice it is dysregulated. So the moment you notice overthinking or those physical manifestations like quicker breath or shoulders hunching up or whatever other physical indications you have that your nervous system is dysregulated. Now, keep this important point in mind. The whole idea behind nervous system regulation is to help you feel better. So if you try a technique and it makes you feel worse, drop that technique and move on to the next one, because we don't want to do things that make us feel worse. That's the opposite of our goal here. Step 2 of the Regulate, Reassure, Respond process is to acknowledge and reassure your security guard, because after all, she's really trying to help. She's trying to keep you safe from what she believes is a threat. The thing is, she just doesn't have the greatest radar in terms of assessing what is and isn't a threat here in our modern 21st century world. Now, when you reassure your security guard, you're going to do that with gentle, compassionate, and growth-focused language. And it doesn't have to be complicated at all. It can be as simple as, "Hey, I know you're trying to help me. Thank you. I am safe here and I've got this." Or, "I know you're trying to keep me safe here, but there's really no danger. I appreciate that you're looking out for me, and it's also time for me to move forward in this situation." Step 3 of the Regulate, Reassure, Respond process is to respond with intention. Decide how you want to think and feel about the situation moving forward. Here are some examples of simple ways that you could shift your thinking only after your security guard feels safe and your body feels physically calm, but not in a shutdown mode. You can think something like, "If this doesn't go well, I have the opportunity to try again." Or, "I'm allowed to do B- work. It is safe for me to be imperfect." Or, "I can't know or control what other people think of me. I'm going to focus on what I can control, which is me." Or, "It's not my job to fix every issue or solve every problem." Now, the thought should be specific to the situation, and it should also feel believable to you. It might take you a few different tries to kind of try on different thoughts and see what helps you to feel the way you want to feel in the situation. So try on different thoughts and notice how they make you feel. If you're struggling to come up with an intentional thought, try it from the feeling or emotion perspective. How do you want to feel about the situation or the topic or the circumstance at hand? Because our thoughts cause our emotions, the next step after you decide how you want to feel is to ask yourself, what would I have to be thinking in this situation to feel that way? Choose one thought and feeling combination to carry you forward. When you think and feel from a place of intention, action naturally flows from that. So here's a quick 90-second flow of my signature Regulate, Reassure, Respond process. First, regulate your nervous system by employing a quick and simple nervous system regulation technique that works for you, such as 4-4-8-4 breathing or rubbing your thumb across your fingertips. Next, comfort and reassure your security guard with gentle, compassionate self-talk. And finally, choose the thought and feeling combination that you want to use to move forward in the situation. Action will naturally flow from there. Here are just a few reasons why this Regulate, Reassure, Respond process is so effective. First, it's really quick. You can do it in 60 to 90 seconds. And depending on the nervous system regulation technique you use, you can do it any place, whether you're in a meeting, in line at the grocery store, or having an intense conversation with another person. Second, it's tailored to you every time because you'll be using nervous system regulation techniques that help you specifically, and you'll be selecting thoughts and feelings that are pertinent to the situation at hand. No fuzzy, generalized affirmations, but specific thoughts and feelings that will help you move forward in the way that you need to. And third, it encompasses mindset and nervous system regulation, not one or the other. This is one of the reasons why mindset work is ineffective for a lot of people, because they don't realize they're not regulating their nervous system first. Now, if you would like some help with identifying nervous system regulation techniques that work well for you, or you want to build your self-confidence in the long term, I would love to invite you to work with me inside my signature one-on-one coaching program, the Self-Confidence Edit. We use tools like the Regulate, Reassure, Respond process, and lots of mindset and belief work to help you rebuild your relationship with yourself, develop your potential to handle whatever comes up in any situation, and to reframe other people's opinions and views from a healthy perspective. If that sounds like something you're interested in, head to amyshield.com/book to learn more and schedule your free consultation. Thank you so much for checking out this video today. I'm Amy Shield. I help smart, capable women feel as confident on the inside as they look on the outside. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye-bye.